This is going to be a Warhammer Quest update video. We're going to be going over the RPG book that I bound, all of the cards that I purchased from Little Monk, and he sent me some extra cards, so thank you very much, Little Monk. You rock. Going to talk a little bit about a storage solution for all of these cards and the miniatures that I'm going to be using for my game. So let's get into this. Welcome to Solitary RPG. Before we get started in the video, I want to also give a shout out not only to Little Monk and all the amazing things that he does, but also to a viewer named Brock. He sent me a photo of the boards that he's been making, and just to say, he was just sending it to me to say thank you for putting out the videos and showed off his work, and look at that. So this is Brock's version of Warhammer Quest, and I'm excited to see the bottle of Elmer's glue, the best stuff on the market for the hobby that we are in with making our own boards and our own books. But you can see he's doing all of Little Monk's boards. He's getting everything cut and bagged up separately so it's easier to find. You can see off in the top right corner, he looks like he's got all of the little miniatures. Paper miniatures that you can find online and just kind of fold the paper in half, put them on, make little standees for them, which is awesome. In the back of the photo, next to the Elmer's glue, you can see a big stack of papers. I'm assuming those are all the books that need to be bound and put together. Lots of work ahead with getting all those books bound, but Brock, this rocks. Thank you very much for sending that photo. It really means a lot to me to see people's progress and the fact that my videos are helping out. So keep up the good work, and if you have any problems or questions binding those books, feel free to drop me a line. I'll be more than happy to help. So now let's get into the update on everything that I've been working on. Let me clear my desk and I'll start into the program. First thing I want to show off is the role-playing game book that I have bound together and will be using for my Warhammer Quest games. So just on the binding itself, the front cover's just a little bit warped. I don't know how to fix that other than getting it wet again and trying to bend it back, but to be honest with you, I'm okay with it. But this is the retyped version of the rule book or the role-playing game book. This is not a scanned copy. So while hunting around on the internet, it looks like somebody retyped the role-playing game book and it made it a whole lot easier to print it off and bind it into a rule book. This is probably the thickest book I've ever bound. So this turned out really nice. Got my end pages here, and as you can see, they go right up to the edge. This is a little bit of a mistake on my end, because I probably should have trimmed them back just a little bit, because when you glue your end pages down on the cover, this page will stretch because of the moisture, and you should trim a little bit off the edge so that you don't go all the way like I did. So learn from my mistakes. But yeah, so the role-playing game book is done. I'm happy with the way it turned out. So the next book I still need to bind is the character booklets from Little Monk's website. However, I'm holding off on that because Little Monk is updating all of the character sheets or all the character booklets, and they're not all done yet. So I want to wait until he completes that, and once that's completed, then I will go ahead and print out the character books from his site with all the different characters and different things that he has available on his website. The next thing we're going to look at are all the cards. So Little Monk I don't remember when this took place. It was a while ago. Put out something on his Facebook page saying, hey, if you're interested in cards, let me know. I'm doing an order. So he doesn't make any profit off this. He does this simply at cost, but he wants to get these cards out to everybody that wants to use them. My package showed up late last week. I was super pumped, and then when I got all these cards, I was super overwhelmed. I knew it was over 1,000 cards or something like that. I just didn't imagine seeing 1,000 cards. So yeah, now I've got them. This one particular card was in a plastic sleeve, so I don't know if this was something that maybe didn't get put into the main um, packaging or something like that, but I really love it. It's a cool looking card, I like the art. But let's take a look at these. So the reason I've made my own cards, and it takes a lot of time, and it's really hard to get consistency when you're cutting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cards. So I went out, and when Little Monk said he was doing an order, I jumped on it. Look awesome. I love the art. All of them have the art that's on the books, and these are divider cards. So these are bigger than the regular cards. So that way, when you put them in a organizational storage solution or whatever however you're going to store your cards, you can put little dividers in. This is just awesome. There's the main card set. The main guy. Oh, you got a couple. Okay, so what do we got here? Oh, these are the event cards, the special cards, the treasure cards, objective room, treasure tier 1. So you just got everything. So this is going to help you organize this massive collection of cards. And I think it was a great addition to the purchasing. Now, I bought this. Wasn't cheap. The way I looked at it is my time cutting and buying sleeves and doing everything for the cards versus just supporting Little Monk and buying the cards. And they're all professionally printed. They look gorgeous. I'm really looking forward to organizing all these cards. Ooh, the White Dwarfs events. Oh, the White Dwarf cards. Sweet. So these are the organizational cards, and I'm not going to crack these open because I don't want them to spill all over the place until I get some sort of deck boxes to put these in, so that way I can put in the dividers and have everything situated. But man, this is like 2 bricks of gold in my eyes. So since I'm not going to open those, let's open up the spell cards. And I'll just carefully put an X-Acto Blade in there. But these all arrived nicely packaged in bubble wrap. And, everything was secured. I didn't have, nothing was slinging along in a box. The box was packed full, and it was awesomely packed. And now, if you're interested in buying the cards, Little Monk still had a few sets left, but you'd want to contact him to see if those are still available, because I believe he's selling the big block of cards, and he's got all the information listed. But yeah, so here's all the spell cards. Oh, just so many spell cards. So many spell cards. And all of these cards, this is everything that Little Monk has done, and also the main sets and the expansions and every card you could possibly want. Even blank cards. Oh, I got blank cards, or blank spell cards. Awesome. I wonder how I can write, how well these, they're kind of glossy, kind of slick. I wonder if I can write on them easily. If not, I can print something out on a piece of sticker and just stick it down on that. But yeah, that's awesome. So these are the cards, and there's lots of them. And what I need to do is organize this massive collection of cards now. The way I'm going to be storing all of these cards is in a box like this. So my buddy has done a lot of Kickstarters for games, and he had some of these boxes left over for one of his games. And I've got a few of these boxes still laying around, and it's kind of a unique lid that pops off, and then you're supposed to put a game, like a board game, inside of here, like the box of the board game in here. But I just kind of made my own little box, and I'll be putting all my cards inside of here. This is all League of Dungeoneer. So yes, I backed League of Dungeoneer. I think I was a late pledge on that game. And these are all the encounters. And one of my intentions with League of Dungeoneer is to use all the components for playing my game for Warhammer Quest, and also playing League of Dungeoneer, because it came with plastic doors, plus I got cardboard doors, so it took care of the door situation for me. You got all these standee encounters that you can use, and not all of them exist in the Warhammer Quest world, but it gives me something to start using right away. And I can decide if I'm going to really venture into collecting all of the original miniatures. Like, I have all the orcs and goblins. I have so many orcs and goblins because I'm an old school fantasy player. I've got more orcs and goblins than I can shake a stick at. I've got thousands and thousands of models, and I have all the original. I've got first edition, second edition, all the way up to current edition, Age of Sigmar stuff. So, anyways, orcs and goblins are covered, but I don't have everything else, and I don't know if I'm going to go hunting down all of the original miniatures, but I can use these as proxies. And so that's going to be used, but this is how I'm going to store my cards. Is I'll probably get deck boxes, and like the long cardboard deck boxes, and hopefully they'll fit within this, and that way I can just situate them in there and have them in the deck boxes. Or I may build trays like this and put them in there. But that's my storage solution for all the cards, is just finding some deck boxes and putting the deck boxes in a nice wooden box that I'm going to stain up. So that way it can sit on my shelf in my game room, which is viewable by the public if they came into my house. So my wife doesn't like me putting ugly cardboard boxes on the shelves in my game room. So I put on some I've got to stain them up and make them look pretty. But speaking of miniatures, when I backed League of Dungeoneers and my box showed up and I was going through it, overwhelmed by all components of League of Dungeoneer, that's a massive box. But I started organizing my encounters, as you saw in the box that I have, and I noticed I was missing a full sheet of counters. I was actually missing this particular sheet of counters. And I was given a duplicate sheet of another one of the encounter pages or cutouts. And I contacted Michael, the creator of League of Dungeoneer, and he just said, sure, I'll take care of it. He was in the middle of shipping still, so there was really no communication about it because I knew he was busy, and I was watching everything that was being said on Facebook, and just kind of, I knew it would show up eventually. Well, I thought he was just going to send me a sheet. Instead, he sent me a whole new pack with all the miniature, all the cutouts, all the standees in it. And I don't need them all. Like, I was like, well, that's personally, I was like, well, that's kind of wasteful, but I probably understood why they did it. It was probably just easier for them. He didn't ask what sheet I was missing, and if he asked, I couldn't tell him. I knew what standees I was missing, but I don't know. It was probably just easier for him, just cost wise and everything, just to ship me a whole new thing. So now I have it. So originally I was going to use my League of Dungeoneer standees for both games, but now I'll have two sets, and I'll be able to use this set simply for Warhammer Quest, and I'll have a separate set just for League of Dungeoneers, and I'm excited about it. So that's how I'm going to do my miniatures until I decide if I'm going to go on that quest in life to try to buy or find somebody that has STL files and I can just print out all of the miniatures for Warhammer Quest. We will see. So anyways, that's a quick update of everything that I have going on. Little Monk, thank you very much. You rock. Go check out the Facebook page if you're interested. Also, he has some of the adventure books still available, and later this year, if you're wanting to have professionally made boards, he found somebody that's going to print the boards out professionally. I love the boards I made, but I'd really like to see some professionally made boards. But we'll see how that goes. I don't have any real information on that right now. It was just a post on the old Facebooker, and we'll see how that goes. But just stay on top of his Facebook page and stay in touch with that community so that you can stay up to date on all the Little Monk coolness that has been coming out. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye.